Good morning, my trippy hippies. It is Tammy coming to you live from my office today. And I'm a little late, but that's okay. I'm right on time, is what I say. I'm never late. I'm exactly on divine time. So as you jump on here today, please say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me what you're up to today. I think that good morning, Amanda. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad that you're here today. Tell me in the comments if uh, hashtag grateful fed as always, and then again, tell me where you're watching from today. I am here. If you're just joining us, not sure exactly where I'm at and what in the world this is about, I am your hometown hippie. I'm Tammy Nelson, and I'm so glad you're here with me this morning. Good morning and hello, 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 and good morning. Showing my Facebook user, not sure if you've allowed StreamYard to see your name or not yet, but if you don't mind, allow that. That'd be great. Hi, girlfriend. As you can see, my puppy dog is needing some attention this morning. Chess, come see Mama. Over here. Over here. Hi. Can you say hi to the peoples? Can you say hi to everybody? She is being a good girl today. Yes, her is. Her being a good girl today. Let Mama get the hamburgers out. But we are getting rocking and rolling today. As many of you know, if you've been here for a while, we do have a very robust live schedule. I enjoy spending time here with all of you. You're kind of my BFFs. But I am a little bit late today. Normally it's 9 o'clock, but we are going to move Wake and Bake till 10, just because I need it to be moved till 10. I just don't have the energy at East Tennessee. What's up, East Tennessee? Um, I'm here in Farmville, Virginia, which is Central Virginia. The heart between you're fine. You are perfect. We are up here in Virginia. We're about 60 miles west of Richmond and about 60 miles east of Lynchburg, maybe a little less than that. And I'm going to tell y'all, I was not sure I was going to even be able to pull today off. We had a really crazy busy weekend. I felt like, and I didn't leave the house. And anybody else, can you give me a hell yes? I understand, a thumbs up, something. If you have ever had like a weekend where you're like, what just happened? And you were so busy, but you never even left your property or your house, like just getting stuff done. And for me, it was all about focusing on my energy this weekend with my Reiki level 1. As you can see, my little certificate is up here behind my head right here. I am sitting here with my Reiki manual and my journal this morning. Um, Mondays typically prior to our grand reopening have very much been a day where I spent time in the office, right? I spent a lot of time in here in the office, and a lot of it was from taking all of the orders that have been placed over the weekend and taking them from the order form into the invoicing system and making a plan for the week and taking a deep breath. And then, as many of you know, many of you may know, many of you may not know, I also have a secondary business that is a women's retreat business called Creative Healing Collaborative. And on Mondays, that's the day that we meet for that. So Mondays are kind of my day to kind of regroup and reset and refocus. With the new website, it has been interesting. All I had to do this morning was come in here and print off a couple of orders. Interesting because normally when I come in on Mondays, just being 100% transparent here, um, in the past when we had the Google form, there had been, close to maybe 15 orders over the weekend. And there were 2 this morning that were placed. They were placed overnight last night. But I'm just wondering, is the website working for everybody, or does y'all like the other way better? Just wondering. I put a lot of work on the website. I'm not sure if it's working for everybody. And I'm also going to go in here and do me a favor if you can. If you've got a friend here, do me a favor and tag them in the comments. I'm a little late going live, I know. So I'm going to go ahead and get in here, confirm Amanda. I just confirmed your friend request there. Uh, So Amanda found us too. She said, "I'm looking for a Wake and Bake Live. I can't find you. I'm here. I'm here. I'm gonna go into the live and I'm gonna tag a few folks because making sure it's showing up, and because Facebook has been hiding everything. I've been putting posts up and normally the whole group would see it, and now it's saying 54 people viewed. So we got to get that straightened out. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and comment and tag a few people. We are going to Melanie Lewis. We're going to tag Heather Johns. We are going to tag Nancy Bulliard because she's always looking for my lives. And we're going to tag Elizabeth Clark. Sorry, y'all. I can't do but one thing at a time today. Apparently, my eyes don't want to work every day. So yeah, you get that, right? Every day, artist, work from home. So you understand, right? You understand the idea of being very, very, very caught up in your craft and your work, and and then kind of time getting away from you, right? We have got lots of big things going on this weekend. I'm going to also tag some of my Kilms here. Sometimes I get into it, and we're going to remember some people here. Randy Allison, and then we're going to tag Kat Yeager. This is the people that pop into my head that we need to tag today. Not that I don't, sometimes people just pop in, some people pop out, but I just want to make sure that we are tagging some folks because I am in a different time and Facebook has been ridiculous with my stuff. And we've got some giveaways today because, like I told y'all, good morning. Like I told you, every order that was placed this weekend from the 1st through the 5th, and we've got one, so that's 10 on this page. We have on page 2, we have 10 on that page. Page 3, so that's 10, 20. So far we're at 20, 28. We are at 20, no, 30. We're at 30. We have 30 sweet. We had 30 orders. That means someone who ordered will win 30 sweet treats. Now, we'll let you know this. If it's 30 individual items, so one gummy is one item, right? So there are 30 items in this bag. So there's going to be, every item is a 1-to-1. We're gonna get it all straightened out, but 30 orders. So that means there will be 30 sweet treats in that bag. So there's 30 items coming to someone who's going to win today. What I do, so y'all will know, but move this over here. What I will do is I will show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to share my screen. Share screen. And we're going to do this one. Share. Okay. So I will go down the orders here and I will count them. And then we will do a random number generator, and we will randomly generate one of those numbers between 1 and 30 to see who our winner is. We'll count down from the beginning. We'll count to 30 from the last page. We'll count the number 1 is number 1. We'll go back to the beginning, and then we'll go up from there. So we'll pick a winner today for our grand reopening sweet treat. I really anticipated more than 30 orders though. Really, really did. I try to very much hold my expectations lightly because we really believe all in divine time and everything is well, right? And whenever I set a goal, I really anticipated 50 orders. I anticipated 50 orders. I have 50 customers that I know order on a regular basis, and we have been very big on having an equal number of customers and then returning customers, right? Yeah, I know. And people on vacation, all the things. And whenever we got in, I've noticed this week that we have a lot fewer new customers, and a lot of our regular orders did not come in. So it is what it is. I was anticipating a lot more for the grand reopening. It was probably one of my slower weeks that I've had. I'm very shocked by that, but it is what it is, right? I'm just not sure that the website is suiting. I'm not sure. Like there was a lot more traffic on the Google form, so I'm hoping that the website is not hindering the ability to order. If you're having trouble with that, let me know. I would love to be able to help you out with that. Um, but not really. They really didn't, Heather. That's the thing. Like they didn't adjustment period. It's what it is. I'm just not sure. Like I said, it made me a little. Here's the thing, though. With any growth, right? There's that awkward stage. And what God, what universe, what source is telling me through this, right, is to stay in trust, is to stay in faith. And so I need to stay in trust and to stay in faith. I let go and let God over break, right? And um, I have to know that it's not in my time. And that's the lesson, right? That's the lesson that is here for me, is that I can't dictate when source is going to follow through with what is out there, but I have to stand in the knowing that it's out there, right? And I want to ask you that, right? How many of you, right? How many of you have ever like said, we've talked about this, right? I have given this sermon, I have given this talk before, and I talked about how when when you're when you're this close to your blessing, right? When we think, oh, we throw our hands like, why not now? Like, why God? Why not now? I thought it was going to happen this way. This is how I envisioned it through my manifestation, and this is not how it is. And you give up and you lose faith, and you are this close to your breakthrough, right? Maybe you were told like, take a walk and you will get blessings in the walk, and you went on the walk. So you know what? Within 30 minutes, within a mile, I know God's going to come through. Like I've manifested it. I can see like the mile post marker. I can see my blessing happening. And you get to that mile post marker, right? The place that you think you should be. And in life, it might be things like when I graduate college, right? Or maybe it's like when I get my driver's license, or when I can vote, or when I can drink, or when I can graduate, or when I get married, and when I have a baby. We set these time markers. We set these like we're telling God, we're trying to dictate, this is when my blessing's coming, right? We just know that's when it's going to happen. And realizing that things don't happen on our schedule, right? I say it all the time. Man plans and God laughs, right? Tammy plans and God laughs. And when I was, focusing my energy yesterday, I wanted to see if I uploaded something real quick too. Hang on. Did I not? I did not. I need to add an overlay. I need to add an overlay real quick. Desktop downloads, and it's Father's Day. Sorry, I had one more thing I needed to add for y'all, because I have to show you some things here in a second. And it just popped in my head. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't do it. But how many of us have done that, right? How many of us have set these time frames? And I'm like, it's an adjustment. You were not available for a minute. Oh, it's fine. I mean, like I said, like I'm saying it out loud to show you that I too have those moments, right? I said, once I get the website up, once I reopen, it's when it didn't happen in the capacity that I anticipated that it did, right? But that was me learning. That's a lesson for me, right? That's a lesson for me to, number one, is not to limit, because I was like, I want 50 orders, right? I was limiting Source. Maybe Source wanted to give me 1,000 orders, but I limited it. So like, well, you know what? Let's give her 30, right? Or it was, maybe it was me trusting and not doubting myself. It was standing in my power, right? It's the getting what you want and what you need at the same time. It's also the fact that I'm like, Source knows better. They're like, you also have Reiki level 1. You also closed on a house. You're gonna not be able to handle that 50 orders. I was struggling. We got 30 out. We got 30 out strong, right? But yeah, and it's going to be so it can be an easy transition. Yes, exactly. I appreciate that very much, Heather. And I'm not stressing over it. It's not. I'm really not. I'm just saying it because it's a good example of, right? It's a good example of, and it's a good opportunity to remind ourselves, right, that expectation is kind of like comparison. That's what it's doing, right? An expectation sometimes is also kind of like comparison, and comparison is what? Comparison is the thief of joy. When I look at somebody else's life and I compare mine to theirs, I'm going to find pieces and parts. And here's the thing, I don't know that person's life, and I'm comparing pieces and parts that may be comparing apples to oranges, but we do that, right? In my mind's eye, this grand reopening was gigantic, right? In my mind's eye, when I was manifesting it, I was like, overwhelmed. I was working all weekend trying to keep up with the orders, all the things. And I knew that I needed to be able to rest and get ready for this class to be able to put the extra energy into the food that I'm making. Because, I've been doing Reiki on your food and putting love and intention into your food. I use my hands and I talk and I do the music and all the things. But learning the class this weekend, learning how to focus that energy, learning how to pull that energy down and amplify that energy is very tiring. It takes a lot of energy out of you. When you move energy, energy is never ending. It's just ever changing is what I tell people, right? Yes. Yes, and I agree with that 100%, Melanie. You are correct. You are exactly correct, right? But here's the thing, right? What was my biggest fear? What was my biggest fear rolling into this, right? So here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how worry manifest as well. Because what happened? Hello. What happened over break when I came back to the new website, right? What has happened is exactly what I was afraid of. Exactly what I was worried about, right? So when people tell me, like Carly, my woo woo guru, right? Hello. It's not showing me name. I am guessing who is this? Hello. Just let me know who that is. Hello, Lisa Phillips. I saw you up there peeking in when I was running my mouth. Where's she at? There she is. Growing pains. What's up, everybody? Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, everybody. Thank y'all for being here. Do me a favor and give me a hashtag grateful fed below. I will say this, right? Technology can be a beast, and I know that Facebook is 100% hiding all my stuff. I was a first time customer for birthday in May, and I loved everything. I'm telling everyone, I love it. Thank you so much, Amanda. It's fine. Like I said, this is what I'm talking about today. Is not that I'm like, I feel safe to talk about it here, right? I feel safe to talk about it here. Everything you have said, everything each of you have said is 100. Hey, Kat, is 100,000% legitimate. I am not worried over it. Like, I'm not worried over it. This is a lesson, is what I'm talking about, right? Sometimes my mess is my message, right? Because when I did leave, that is my insecurity. Out of sight, out of mind. That was my biggest insecurity with people, is that but that was what it was, right? But like I told Red, I was like, I am worthy regardless, right? I am worthy, divine timing, right? I am worthy. All is fine, all is well. No worries at all. Everything is cool. And I am getting the orders, and the people that I am supposed to touch come to me freely and easily, right? The people that I am meant to be in their lives, that my products are meant to touch their lives in some way, they are going to be here. They're going to come to me in their exact right timing. I am just saying this to let you know, right? To let you know that it's still one of those things that even if you're struggling with something that you worry about, we talked about worry yesterday, right? We talked about that on Sunday's sermon about how worrying and how, I say worrying is praying for the things that you don't want to happen. And Red says that worrying takes today and steals tomorrow's joy, right? You're ruining the day by stealing tomorrow's joy. Um, That's a lot true, Melanie, as well. I have extra hands, right? I was baking ahead, and that's a lot of it too, but it's actually like from a dollars and cents standpoint. So I can see it from an actual, I have reports now. I have reports, and it does month over month and week over week. And every other month we have been up like 20% at the beginning, and then we've been up over month. And here's the thing: I also understand retail, and I also understand business, and I also know that people are on vacation. Kids just graduated. Gas just went up 20 cents more on the dollar. So I get all of those things. And I am truly, I promise y'all, I'm holding space and I'm okay with this. But what I am showing you is that um, whenever you are worrying, here's what can happen. And number two, how to hold space, not to allow yourself to crumble in this type of environment, right? If maybe you do have something that you're manifesting, maybe you do have something that you want, maybe you have something that is big to you, and you're trying to dictate when, you're trying to dictate how, you're trying to dictate where. And that's what I was trying to do, right? And when you're trying to do those things, you are taking you're telling God, right? You're telling source, you're like, I got this. And you don't, right? Because it's not about me. It's not about you. It is about the divine plan of the collective universe, right? And for me, my my ultimate goal, and I know this for sure, right, is that I want to be of service. I want to be of service. And that is my calling. That is my soul's purpose, is to, and I say it's to feed people, right? I say it is, my goal is to fill people's cups up. And I mean that both metaphorically and actual. And like, I think about, like, when I think about filling people's cup up, right? The image that comes to my mind, and probably my most happy time, right, is whenever I was my mom and I were arm to arm cooking in our restaurant. We had our first restaurant together where I was like part of it, and it was called Julie's Cafe. My mom's name was Julie. We had an open like counter. You could watch us cook. We were out there with all the customers. Like, all of our stuff was out there for the world, right? And we had this waitress, right? We had this waitress, and she was amazing. So the building that we were in is where Merck's Place in Farmville is. That's where Julie's Cafe was. It was set up a little different. They've remodeled since we had it, right? And where the counter is and the ice cream is at Merck's, all of that was our kitchen, like right there. And then the back room where their kitchen is, that was all our storeroom and the dishwasher and all that stuff. But that counter spot, we did all of our cooking behind that counter. We had our walk-in, we had our refrigerators back there, all the things. All of our storage is in the back, but we had the kitchen up front. And we had this waitress who, before it was Julie's Cafe, it was the Steer restaurant. And she and her family had owned that forever and a day. She was the owner originally, and her daughter and son-in-law took it over because she was about 80 years old. Every bit of 80 years old, and she never would cash a paycheck, but she wanted to have something to do. My mom's like, as long as this building is, I'm running this building, and you want to come in here and wait on a table, you're welcome to. You have a job for as long as you want one. Because she was one of those people, like, I just have to, she loved that place. And my mom loved her family. And that's what my mom said. You got a job as long as you want one. And her name was Estelle, Miss Estelle Womack. And she's been in the Farmville Herald. Her corn pudding recipes, her yeast roll recipes were all from the Steer. And she had 3 tables, 3 booths. And all her regulars that came in, since it was the Steer, and the guys from Grant's class where my husband worked. I'm going to tell this story. They're going to, a lot of them are gone now because it was not this generation. The only one from this generation may have been John Grant, who was coming in with his uncle Stuart and his uncle Jesse and his uncle Thomas. And it was normally not, Jesse normally didn't come in. It was Slick, which was Thomas, John Grant, and Stuart would come in to eat lunch. And maybe my sister's boyfriend who worked there, Scooter, right? And they would come in and sit at the first booth, which was kind of our booth in the restaurant. I'm telling this story from, it's coming in so clear. And we had a little country diner, right? We had a little family style Southern cooking, deliciousness, hamburger steaks, the normal stuff on the menu, kind of like a Cumberland restaurant menu. Burgers, chicken sandwiches, clubs, chicken salad, tuna salad, cold plates. You know the menu, right? Does that make sense for anybody that knows that menu? Hamburger steak, we had a very country diner menu. And they would come in their special, they get their cheeseburger, french fries, or their chicken sandwich, or their hamburger steak, or their other, whatever plate we had that day. Sometimes it's beef stroganoff, whatever, right? And they would get sweet tea to drink. And Estelle would stand there with her tea pitcher, right? And she would watch them. And they would take a sip of their drink, and she would run over, and as soon as they would laugh all the time, like, we can't even get our cup is always full here. Our cup runneth over here, because Estelle is going to always make sure that our cup is full. She says, you boys work hard out in the sunshine, and it's hot out there. And she did it with coffee, whatever. She's like, I want to make sure that your cup is full, because nothing's worse than wanting to have something to satisfy your thirst when you're hot and tired and not having it. And I'm all of a sudden, like, all these emotions just came in. So spare with me. I'm sorry. It's getting to get real. I felt energy, like, just kind of, like, move in. Source energy is filled up, right? So the reason that I'm able to hold this space is because of I can feel it. Like, I can feel the tingling. I can feel the goosebumps. I can feel all of the ancestral guides, all of the women who are at my back, all of the moms, the grandmas, the big mamas, all of these ancestors in my family who were always nourishers, who were always counselors, who were always giving of their entire hearts. And the reason that my family's restaurant businesses were always successful, right, is because of that love energy. If you didn't have the money to eat, we fed you anyway. And I feel these women surrounding me, and I know that my job is to fill up cups, and it is to keep you full, both spiritually, in all the ways, right? Be it physical, emotional, spiritual, or just just literally, right? Literally, your cup is empty. I will fill it up with whatever you're drinking, because I understand that being hungry and thirsty is not something we ever wanted anybody to feel, right? Because that's a basic need, and you can't go out and you can't make a difference in the world. You can't learn, you can't work if your basic needs are not met, right? If you're hungry, if you're thirsty, if you're tired, if you're weary, those things are going to be your primal needs. And some of us are meant to touch the people who've already been full, and we're meant to help them. And there's people that are meant to help those people, right? That are meant to show them the light, to teach them lessons, to help them with other things. Some of us are in the trenches, right? Some of us light workers are working with people who are empty, who are not able to expand their horizons until they get their basic needs met, right? So did y'all see that just flip off till they're able to get their basic needs met? So my goal is to make sure that you're not hungry and you're not thirsty. And I mean that in every sense of the way. This is where you come to kind of get your cup and your tank and your batteries charged up, so that you can go out into the world and do the things that you're meant to do. And with food, there are so many things that I told Red last night. We were talking about eating last night. We were talking about dinner last night. We were making burgers, and just the two of us here at the house. We had some hamburger laid out last night, and he laughs. We talk about it all the time. That dinner is kind of a show around my house. It is kind of a what's what I'm looking for. It's kind of a thing. It's what we're looking for. It's an event, right? It's a show. It's an event. I'm trying to think of the exact right word. It's not, neither one of those words are the right words, and my brain will come back around to it when it matters. But we did burgers last night, and we had grilled corn. So we put corn on the cob out on the grill in the shucks and let it steam inside the husk. And then we had some air fryer tater tots and some baked beans. So we had kind of a big burger dinner last night. It's a production. That's what we're looking for. Dinner is a production at my house. And I got the cutting board out and I was cutting up tomatoes and onions, and I had some shredded lettuce that I had still had from the taco party and stuff. And I put it all out, made it look pretty. It was kind of like setting all diagonal and all the things. And Red was saying I was going to do the patties, and I'm like, I already got my hands in there and did it. I wanted to throw some extra love energy in there anyhow for the burgers. And we were talking about how food is very sensual because you use all of your senses, right? You use all of your senses when you eat. I do anyhow. Like I told Red, I was like, you were like when I'm outside, we have steaks on the grill. And I was like, even the sound of the meat hitting the hot grill and it going, shh, that initial sear, like I get goosebumps from that, right? That just excites me. The smell of bacon or onions or anything cooking, like the smell starts telling the story of what it's going to taste like. The smell then creates like the actual like salivating of the salivary glands to get your mouth ready to eat. You see food visually, right? You see food visually and it's beautiful, and the colors, and like last night I was like, look at the cutting board, like I made like a charcuterie board of like toppings for the hamburgers, and it was just us. I was like, it doesn't matter, like we still should like love. That's the kind of love I put into every meal, right? And it's the sound of it cooking, the smell of it cooking, the taste of it, the touching of it. All of your senses are kind of aroused or are engaged, right? Whenever you are eating. I'm sorry, y'all, but it's what it is, right? And because we eat with all of our senses, I started thinking about. I'm like, for years and years and years and years, people would say like, I was like, I know I'm supposed to help people. I'm just not sure how. And I felt like I was punch drunk, just kind of stumbling from one way to help somebody to the next way, and nothing ever felt like it filled me up. Because one of the things that I know about my cup is that when I am being of service to others, that is when my cup runneth over, right? That is when my cup runneth over. And I kept trying to bump into things. You're a Taurus and you love food. My husband is a Taurus, and he does not know why he is not 300 pounds for the food that I make in this house. My love language is that I feed people. Like I want to feed you. And um, that's okay. We were talking about food and the senses and how, as someone who wants to help people, I was running into brick walls in every way to help somebody. It just wasn't the way that I felt authentic. There were ways that I helped people, but I didn't feel authentic in the help. I didn't feel like it was enough. Like it just felt like something was missing. Anybody ever had that feeling, right? Anybody ever had that feeling like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but there's just something else. Like they're just like feeling like there's just something a little bit off, right? Um, that's funny. That is funny. Now, Red is not 145. He's like 165 pounds. Um, Never gains. And Red, he's a feast or famine, or like he loves food, but it doesn't excite him like it does me, right? Like he's not a 3 meal a day kind of guy. Like he could care less about breakfast. Maybe once in a blue moon he'll eat something for lunch and he eats dinner. And then he'll go through phases where he's just not hungry. And that breaks my heart. I'm like, what are you mad at me? He just like get excited about food. I'm like, I gotta learn that. And I'm like, you stop. But honestly, like, have you ever felt like this is right, but there's just something else? There's like a piece. And I the other day, right? Like you felt a puzzle, and you've got all the pieces on the table. Like when you start moving in that right direction, but you just got to find where all the pieces fit, and you got to put the puzzle together, and you need to find where all your pieces fit. And when I came home, on back, I moved back here in 2019. Right, my goal was a farm to table food truck, and I kept saying like that was my goal, and I got over it because I'm like, COVID hit, gas $6 a gallon. It's very difficult to find help. Um, yeah, you and me either, girl. And things didn't work out in that respect. It did not work out in the respect that I thought it would with the food truck, and I was really like beat up about that. I thought that was that I thought the only thing that I had was physically making food. Like, this is before all the enlightenment kind of like really started taking hold. It was about, how do I make a living utilizing foods? My most favorite thing to do was cooking. I think a food truck would be amazing, right? Amanda, that makes that you want to see. This is the power of one, y'all. Can we send some love energy to Amanda? Because I think God and Source and energy always sends me exactly what I need to hear. Because Amanda was like the first one on here today, right? And I appreciate you so very much, Amanda. And I hope that the things that you have utilized from us have been an assistance in that. And we would love to have you on our heart space meditation on Wednesday nights. That would be amazing. So we're happy that you're here, and you being here has touched all of us, and you're exactly where you need to be. We are the Grateful Fed Army, and we are about the power of one and touching individual people. And we're so excited that you're here. And my computer does not want to take the, there we go. Okay. So I thought that was what I had to do, was I took it very literally, right? Some of the things that I was hearing was, right, like, if you build it, they will come, right? If you build it, they will come. And I'm like, I had people bump into me like, hey, I want to do a brick and mortar restaurant. We have this space over here. I'm like, nope, that's not, and everything was just not right, right? And I kept hearing, if you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come. And all of these partnerships that I have been kind of seeking out, right? Because I'm very much a community person. All of the partnerships, all the collaborations, all the people who wanted to be involved, all the things just kept falling away, right? And I was starting to feel very defeated. I was starting to feel very defeated. And then I started tampering and tinkering with the edibles, right? And then that started to build, and that started to build. And then the people were saying, oh my gosh, just like Amanda said, right? I had my first lung cancer patient. She was referred to me by somebody. She was kind of my first, like, outside of people that I knew, patient. Okay. And she was like, I need something. I can't smoke. I'm in chronic pain. I used cannabis before for pleasure. With lung cancer, I cannot smoke it. And I've got to find things that are going to work for me. And I started creating butters and cookies for her. Like, we were just caramels, right? Caramels what we made. It was a caramel kind of deal. I had a bunch of caramels. Who wants caramels? And then it moved into chocolate chip cookies for her because she wanted some cookies. And then I was like, well, what else can I make? And I started trying different things, right? Brownies and all these different things. And so I realized, she's like, you really helped me. Heather says, I'm waiting for this to pull up. I'm glad you took this path because we all need your foodstuffs, and you brought your bright, shining light. I love you so much. Look, I never would have done Reiki without your influence. I've opened my woo-woo to the world because of a live you did when I put it on all your sites. Yes, and you put it on all your sites. If she can do it, so can I. From the bottom of my heart, I love you very much, and I love each and every one of you very much. And that's what today is about, right? It's about my mess being my message. Today is about the fact that all of these things, right? That all of these times when I thought I was almost there, and ego was in the way, and all of this stuff, and I was like, why now? Why not now? I mean, we looked at food trucks. We were talking to farmers. I looked at commercial space. All of these things, right? To literally just be able to feed people, to just be able to put food in your mouth. And with all of those things, sorry, I have someone who, okay. So we, if I would have done those routes, there would not have been the Hometown Hippie VIP page. So as every time when I thought that I was something was going to happen, right? The tower moment was coming to fruition. Every time that happened and it fell through, it was a chink. A piece of my puzzle went flying, and I had to go find it, right? A piece of my puzzle that I thought I'd put in the right spot popped out and fell on the floor, and I was looking for it, right? And then the Hometown Hippie elevated edibles really started to take off, right? It really started to, people were saying, this is helping for this reason. And I really started realizing this is the thing that I'm supposed to do. And last year after my birthday, right? Because last year, yes, yes, it is. You have changed my outlook just in the short time I've known you. Cannabis is medicine for me, and this group understands that. Yes, it is. And what I have realized is that, you know, sometimes you have to be a voice for something that you didn't intend to be a voice for. And what I'm learning through all of this, right, is that what God has in store is bigger than I can imagine. When I tell y'all, when I saw the whole, like, the expansiveness of it from like that eagle eye view where Source pulled me in that last meditation, there are brick and mortar restaurants, there are food trucks, there are podcasts, there are all of these things, all of these different ways. But what Source is trying to say is, um, let go and let it flow. Let it go and let it flow. Detach from the outcome, commit to the process. You do your work. You be a good and faithful steward. You fill those cups up. You stand there like Estelle with that pitcher and you fill those cups up, right? You fill those cups up. You make sure nobody's hungry. You make sure nobody's thirsty. You serve what we're telling you to serve. And then we will show you what we're going to serve to you, right? When I can trust and know. And if I would have let 30 orders, I remember a day when 3 orders would have blown my socks off my feet, right? And that's perspective. And a lot of times when we get to the point where we're almost there, right? It's like, stay true, my kind and faithful servant. You are almost there, right? You are almost there, and you get there, and you work, and you work, and you work. Has anybody else ever like had like a job, and you're like going for a promotion, and like you work and you work? When are they going to decide? When are they going to decide? I cannot take it much more because I'm gonna blow up if they don't tell me something, right? Or something to that effect, right? Something's ready to happen, and you're waiting, 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 right? And anybody ever blown up like an hour before the blessing was going to come? I have. I was waiting for a promotion one time, and it was like they're going to let us know by end of business on Friday. At 4 o'clock on Friday, I'm like, well, what the fuck is end of business day? I get off in an hour, and I'd like to go home early today, right? So I remember going over to my boss's cubicle, kind of peeking around, and I remember the look on his face when I peeked around at 4 o'clock. And I'll never forget this. And he was like that. And then we screw our own blessings. And I did not get the promotion. And honestly, I didn't get the promotion because I wasn't patient till 5. He said, this is what he said. He said, it was down to you and one other person. The argument against you was that you don't have the temperament for it. You're too high strung. And I went to bat and I said, no, she's not. And they said, we're not going to announce it till Monday. And I guarantee you she's going to ask you before the end of business on Friday. And if she asked before end of business on Friday and we told them we'd announce it, we had an email scheduled to go out, then the other person's getting it because I'm telling you she's too temperamental. And an hour before, I would have gotten a raise, about a $50,000 a year raise, and a bigger. I probably still would have been in that industry had I gotten that promotion. It was a big promotion. It was a big promotion. They were saying the temperament wasn't right, that I was too high strung, that I didn't have patience for it, that I had some learning to do on patience in corporate America and all of that. And I went over there, and as the spokesperson for everyone who was waiting to hear, that's how I did it always. Like, I was just wondering, everybody was asking if I'd heard, I hadn't. And I screwed myself out of that blessing, right? An hour before, it would have changed everything. Now, in that moment, how did I feel? Anybody want to guess how I felt? I felt like an asshole. That right there probably took me hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, probably thousands of dollars of healing to get over, right? I felt awful. I felt stupid. But here's the thing though, right? If I look back on it and I'm being very self-aware, they were right. They were exactly right. They weren't wrong. I didn't like to hear it, but I didn't have the temperament for it. I didn't have and that's the thing, right? In that moment, I was defeated. And it's interesting that that came into me today because um, it's very interesting that came into me today. I'm gonna do a little work on that, right? Because I was meant to be here, exactly. Because I was meant to be here. Um, so every time that there's been a block in my blessings, right? Every time that there's been a delay in the blessing, um, I exactly Source has got a plan for me, right? And that's where I have to let go of telling Source what the plan is, right? Red jokes all the time. He says, "I wear the pants in this family. Tammy just picks them out." And he says things to me like, well, I'm like, he's controlling. I'm like, well, take control, right? Take control. I don't want to be controlling all the time, but I say that, but I don't like actions speak louder than words, right? Actions speak louder than words. And one of the things that we've been on this journey with together has been about don't talk about it, be about it. And so with patience and with and standing in the knowing and standing in power, that is very much something that even someone who comes here and talks about it, that's what I'm trying. That's the mess and the message in the mess. What I'm saying is that if you are at home and you're watching lives, not just, I'm not saying me for specifically, okay, specifically, because I don't speak good language, but if you are seeing people on a surface level, if you're watching them on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or the TV, right? The Kardashians. I'm not a Kardashian. Please don't think that I'm comparing myself. I'm just someone who people sometimes see virtually versus in person. There are many of you I have never met in person, and I cannot wait to hug your necks. Like, it's going to be like a moment for me. I'm going to melt, probably crying. But it's one of those, I try to be authentic as my food and show y'all, right, that somebody watching is like, that's easier said than done, Tammy. When you tell me that I should stand in my power and stand in the knowing, and that I should not worry, and that all of these things will be all right, and that God has a plan for me, or that the hardest day that you thought was going to kill you didn't, so today is no different. Get up and do the thing, right? Whenever I say those words, the reason that I share these moments with you is to show you that it is not just, I'm not playing lip service, and that I'm right there with you in the trenches, and that not everything just comes like, okay, it's all good, we just woosah through it. There is some human emotion. There is some disappointment sometimes. There is some letdown. There is some sadness and some heaviness, right? But you recognize it and you don't spiral and live in it, right? I was on the highway of getting shit done, right? We're on the road going the right way. Something happened. There was a block in the road, right? There's a sign like road work ahead, right? We've all been on that road. We're driving down 95 going to Florida. And, you go through Carolina, and I swear, like through Charlotte and all these places, through Georgia, it's just road work everywhere. Probably halfway through Virginia as well. If you're coming from further north, if you come through Virginia. But there's always road work ahead, right? Now, then there's storms on that road, and that's just like the road of life, right? Sometimes you've got to pull off the road and let the weather pass for a minute. Sometimes you just put your blinkers on and keep driving down the road. But what we all have to realize is whether we stop for a minute, whether we push through and drive a little bit slower on the road, whether we get off on a rest stop, or whether we're going 1,000 miles straight at the destination, right? It doesn't matter how you take the trip. What's important is that you take the trip and that you don't give up until you get to your destination. It might take you a year to get there. It might take you a day to get there. But the important part is that you keep traveling forward, right? You keep moving forward. And that's the message today, right? The message today is no matter what roadblocks, no matter what those in your way, whatever just doesn't suit you, it's not going to always be a convertible ride down the street with the windows down and the top down and the radio blaring with sunshine and bluebirds, right? Some days you got to put up you got to put the roof on, you got to roll the windows up, cut the defroster on. Some days you got to have the windshield wipers on. Some days you got to take the car and go get some gas and kind of get it filled back up. But the important thing is to always continue on the path. Don't give up. Don't stop. And that's the message that I needed to hear today, right? Is that just because this, you didn't get from point A to point B in record time, point B is still there and you can still get there, right? It's still there and you can still get there. So that's the message today. We are going to do a little drawing. So we're going to do 1 through 30, random number generator. I'm going to go ahead and show the screen, add to stream. We're going to do random number generator. So don't forget, every person who placed an order, why is this not giving me what I need? So every person who placed an order over the 1st through the 5th. So from when we reopened last week until, let me do this. Let me add another thing here. Maybe it'll pull up better there. Everyone who placed, why is my search bar not working up here? Shouldn't be on Bing. Ew. No. We're trying to go to Google. Where's Google at? We're going to get out of here. Get out of here. We're going to go over here. I'm giving way too. I'm going to be like 2 shots in my cup. Why is it doing this? Oh, Lord have mercy, y'all. I don't know why it's doing what it's doing, but it's doing it. And it's still not giving me a search engine. Random number generator. There we go. Let's see if it gives it to us. Okay. So the lower limit is 1. The upper limit is 30. We are going to generate a number. Can I get some drum rolls, please? Number 5. So we're going to go into our number 5 here. Let's see. I gotta pull this up. So number 5. I'm just going to pull this down until I can get this up. Let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to exit out of that. I got to pull this up over here. I'm trying to get it all up, y'all. That's what I'm doing. So I'm just adding square back. I got to log in. Rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat-tat. So number 5. So the 5th person to place an order. I'm going to go ahead and get this pulled up here in a second. So we're going to go from there. If Square will work, because the internet wants to be silly today. But that is, anybody have anything that, my husband and I had the same discussion. We both need to do things together instead of me running the show. I had to reassure him I didn't want to be the boss. Take the wheel, baby. I've grown up and I don't want control anymore, and it's non-productive. Yeah, and it's interesting. I'm going to tell you all a little story while this is trying to pull up. Yesterday, right? Red is a contractor. He's a builder. We went out to the land yesterday and did a little drive-through. I couldn't get on the land. It was just too overgrown. It was just too much. I was like, I am not getting eaten up today. It's just, we'd have to like machete our way in there. So we walked in and we looked at the property markers and we kind of determined by the road fell how we wanted to pull our driveway in so that the guys can come over. We can mark that off and he can bring the driveway from the top of our property. And I'm building a road all the way through to the back of the property, be able to drive on it and kind of work our way into the sides from the driveway. It's the first thing we're going to do. And we are working on getting the site cleared and started because we're going to get a lumber material list. We're going to start moving on our building immediately. Like we need a price on tag on it. And we get home yesterday and Red's like, I need you to do me a favor. Like he's trying to bring me into the fold. I know it. He was like, I need you to find all the building codes for commercial kitchens so I know how to build it. And I got livid about it. Like inside of me, I was like, I told you, I do everything else. Like I do all, I don't have time to figure out how to build this too. That's the one thing I needed you to do. And I got really, really upset about it, like internally. And I didn't say it out loud. I was like, whatever, fine, Red. I'm thinking to myself, here's where I go, fuck it, I'll do it myself. I'm like, if you go, I gotta look up on the building codes too. I gotta pay for it and build it. That's what the one thing you had to do was build the damn thing. I'm like, that's where I went, right? Immediately. Like, I was pissed. And that is my trigger, right? When somebody's like, well, I need you to tell me this if you want me to do this. I'm like, if I ask you to do something for me and you have to come back to me with like, well, tell me this and tell me that, I go, never mind. Anybody else have that trigger? Like, if you say, we're in it together, we're going to do something, especially with your spouse, like, especially with him. Like, you're my spouse, and if I say to you, I'm relinquishing control and I need you to handle this for me, and then you start asking me a million questions about it, like, if I had all those fucking answers, I wouldn't need you to do this for me. And I get livid, and then I'd snap, and then I go, never mind. Don't worry about it. I will hire somebody else to do it for me that doesn't ask me these stupid ass questions. Right? Internally, I blew up. Externally, I was like, I'll look, and I walked away. I looked and I was like, sure, I'll go find out what it takes to build a commercial kitchen because I fucking know that. And I walked away. And I just, fine. I was like, no problem. I'll give you some details. Right? I'm like to myself, I was like, I've had 6 restaurants. You build a fucking kitchen like you build a kitchen. I'm like, all you have to do is give a schematic and you have to have the health inspection. All I need you to do is build a damn building. It's like in my head, right? I was done. I was like, this motherfucker. Pardon my language at 11 o'clock on a Monday morning, but I was like, this motherfucker. Really? I'm like, I have done woosah all weekend, and I was like ready to like just lose it. I started looking, and he was like, what are you looking at? I'm like, contractors to build a commercial kitchen because you don't know how to do it. That's what I was thinking, right? I was upset. Internally, I was weeping internally. I was like, really? I tried to like release control of this building, this stuff, and lay it over and give this up and all the things. And I've been a hot mess, right? Reiki pulls up a lot of stuff, right? So he walks in last night. He's out there on the grill when this happened. I was on the table just looking at Facebook, right? He goes, hey, I don't think I'm mad at you. And I'm thinking to myself, I ain't worried about you being mad at me. I was like, I am pissed off at you. I don't care if you're mad at me. That's your problem. If you're mad at me, that is a you problem. I don't care that you're mad at me. I could bite your head off right now, rip it off your body and shit down I'm that pissed at you right now. And the fact that he was thinking that I was worried about him being mad at me, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I was like, you lost your mind. Like, I don't care if you're mad at me. You could be mad at me. Red was doing the same thing. And I said to him, I'm like, he's like, what? I said, I don't care that. I said, why are you mad at me? I was like, it's nothing to be mad at me about. I said, but let me explain something. I said, when I told you I needed you to handle the building part of this, I need you to step up and handle the building part. If you're not going to pay for it, you can at least figure out how to fucking build it. So that's how I feel about it. When I ask you to handle the cars, when I ask you to handle the building part of it, I can't do it all. And I said, it takes a lot for me to say that out loud. And I said, because I would just take it on. And I was like, and I'm in a place where I can't take all of that on. I can afford to pay you to do it, which is pay for material. I was like, but I can't sit here and tell you how to do it as well. That's like, I said, I need you to get my car in the shop and get tires. And you're asking me all these questions. I don't want to answer those questions, Red. I need you to take control of that. That's part of handling it all. And what I realized, right, and this is going to be good for Heather too, and I'm going to get off here. I'm long goodbye, I know. We're going to count this winner. Let me get in here. Is that because they're also dealing with trauma response to us, right? Because he says, if I don't do it your way, you don't like it, and it sucks. So I'm too afraid to make a decision to do that because I don't want to piss you off. And I was like, what pisses me off is when you ask my opinion and then you do something completely different and tell me I'm stupid. Then I get mad. I'm like, was that how I wanted it? So I don't like it. If you don't ask me and you do it, then just stand in your knowing that you know what you're doing. I was like, yeah, I need some extra breakers and all that stuff. So that's different. I was like, you're not doing the electrical. Somebody else is. All you need to do is build this building to code for me. That's all I need you to do. Build this building to building code for me. And you can do that. And stop asking stupid ass questions. but they're also worried about not pleasing us. And I realized that. And I tried to like woo-saw my way through it. But woo, I was a little hot last night. Because whenever somebody who's a control freak gives up control, and then right, then they want to ask a million questions. I'm like, why are you asking all these questions? Just do it. Just do it and not make. I don't want to think about it. If I got to do all that, that's the reason I didn't get anybody else to do my website, because I was like, she wanted like $4,900 to do a big website, or even $1,000 to do a big website. And I had to do all the words. I'm like, if I'm going to do all that work, I might as well just do it myself. Because if a YouTuber can do it, then I can certainly figure it out. And that's what I did, right? I went 1-to-1 and just figured it out. And I mean, I'm not being rude, but I mean, I understand your time is money, but you got to put some time in for that money. I'm just saying. I mean, that wasn't $1,000 job for somebody else to do. Once I got the hang of it, it went pretty quick. And if you've built websites before, then it shouldn't take you long at all. Like I did it with the words and all the pictures and everything. So, you know, if somebody would have given me all of that just to put it in there, it taken me a half a day. It is, and control is a trauma response for me, because I've been let down by people, and I realize that, right? And I know that my husband, poor thing, he has been browbeaten because he's had people in his whole life that have been control freaks and beat him down when it wasn't done their way, and I'm one of them, and I feel bad about it. But being able to say to him with all honesty, I'm like, I need you to take control of this. I need you to step up as my partner and, you know, and take some ownership of it. And it took a lot for me to be able to say that, because in the past, that one little thing about, well, tell me the commercial specs for a commercial kitchen. Let me know what they are. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm looking at the health inspection. That's where I go about a commercial building. He's like, not how to inspect it. Like, what do you need for drain traps? I'm like, I don't know any of that shit. Figure it out. You're the builder. If I hired a contractor and he asked me, how do I build a commercial kitchen? I would fire him. I would be like, you don't have this job. If you don't know how to build a kitchen, then you are not building anything for me. And that's what I told Red. Like, you made me feel like, you know what the hell you're doing? I've watched you build other people's stuff. That's your job. That is the thing you need to do. That's like the lady saying, give me all the words for the website. If I gotta do all that, I'm doing my damn self. I mean, period in the story. So, okay, we got our orders up. Let's see what we got going on here. I gotta get the kitchen. I gotta do some chocolate bars, some chocolate chip cookies. I'm feeling way divorced right now. That's funny. No, and we got it together. Don't get me wrong. As my emotions were super high from Reiki, he agreed. He said, I get it. And we were able to have that conversation, which was nice. So we did get through it. So let's go to the beginning of the orders. We have number 5. So let's see who number 5 is. Okay, number 5. 2, 3, 4. This has got everybody's information. It is exciting. I'm going to show you who the winner is. I'm counting it backwards. It is Heather Johns is the winner. And I can take this. Hang on, I skipped a page. Hang on, let me go back. I skipped a page. Yep, 4, because that's where it starts on the 4th. The 4th page starts it. I don't want to show you all people's orders. I need to take this off the screen. Heather Johns, you are our winner. Congratulations, Heather Johns. You won our 1-to-1 ratio. And we will talk about what we need to get out the door. Yay, Heather. Congratulations to number 5. I'm so excited too. That is 30 sweet treats. I'm probably going to make you a whole big batch of 420 cookies, maybe. I'll put together 30 things. But there will be a couple extra 420 cookies. I know it's your medicine, so because it's you, I'm going to make sure you get those. I was going to do like 1 gummy, 2 gummy, 3 gummy, some suckers, some caramels. I'm going to do all that too, but I will make sure that you have a little heavy dose of 420 cookies. I'm making those today, so congratulations, Heather. That will be mailed with your next order if that's okay, or you can just pay the $10 shipping. And actually, you don't even stress over that. I'm just going to ship yours out to you because you spend a lot of money and you do a lot of things here. And I'm going to go ahead and waive your shipping as well because I love you and I can, and I'm going to. So congratulations to Heather Johns. She has got our 1-to-1 grand opening sweet treat. You deserve it, girlfriend. I'm so excited. Yay, yay, yay. But I went the 4th page. I did not count Red and I. Red and I don't count. And then it went to Nancy, Ethan, Heather. So Heather, you are our fifth. See, Divine Time, I couldn't get the webpage to work for a reason. Exactly, that third order you placed was the fifth one. So that works. So on that note, I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for sticking with me today, for allowing me to come be crazy. It's 11:14 on Monday morning. The website is up and running. If you need anything, let me know. Make sure you share it out to your friends. If y'all could all do me a humongous favor, tomorrow is Testimony Tuesday. If you can make sure you go in and post pictures of your boxes, pictures of your sweet treats, a testimonial about something that you love. I would love to be able to have those tomorrow. People are not seeing my stuff, so the more that y'all can post, the better it would be. And if you can go in today and post Motivational Monday, let me know. Before we get off here, I do want to show y'all a couple of things that are coming up. Number one, Wednesday, we have a big night. So Wednesday is a very big day. Wednesday on What's Up Wednesday, gather your bingo cards. If you do not have a bingo card, you think you're owed one, I will send you a picture of a bingo card in your messenger. You can print that off and play it, and I will hold that one to the side. I'm going to put your name on it, and I'll have the physical copy of the bingo board for you here. You can play it at home. Number two, we're going to play one game because we didn't have that many cards going out in June. Now in July, we will change that and we will do 3 games. So make sure that you are getting your orders in, because orders get you bingo cards. That is awesome. So number two, let's go into the next thing we've got going on Wednesday night, which is a big deal. So the other thing we have is our weekly heart space meditation. This is going to be on Zoom, so it'll be private. Carly is going to come lead us in a guided heart space meditation on Wednesday night. That's going to be at 9 o'clock Eastern time every Wednesday night. Meditation can give a sense of calm, peace, and balance. It can benefit your emotional well-being and overall health. So it's going to also help you to get, I'm going to pull this over. We were smoking while we got them. And we're going to do that once a week on Wednesdays. The more, the merrier. So invite your friends, come. We're going to ask that everyone be respectful. We're going to ask for quiet backgrounds. We're going to ask you to mute yourself to listen to the meditation and go into some wusa state and to send that love energy to all the people out in the world, which is amazing. And then last but not least, Father's Day is coming up. We did some Mother's Day stuff. So we're going to do some Father's Day bundles as well. It's going to be a bottle of hot sauce for the guy that has everything, right? That is going to allow him to maybe hit some eggs or some wings or whatever, keep his day kind of elevated. It's going to have a cookie trio box, which is going to have a chocolate chip cookie, a Love Spell cookie, and a 420 cookie. And then it's going to also have a pre-roll and then a couple other little fun Father's Day little trinkets that, I put in everything. It's valued at over $63, actually valued at over $65. It's on sale for Father's Day for $50. It is on the website under bundles and featured items. So I hope that you will grab that. A couple other things, if you are local, we do have new flavors. We have Afgoo and we have ice cream cake. I have very little gelato and very little wedding cake. Those are about gone. So I'm only offering those two in any kind of the consultations, which is the Afgoo, which is the Afghani mixed with Wagyu, and then the ice cream cake, which is Stellar Nugs. It's almost blue. It's so good. And then I've got new carts in a Do-si-do, a strawberry cough, gelato, sour diesel, and all of the things. So Nancy, you got Do-si-do, gelato, and strawberry cough. That's the 3. You got one of each coming. So those are on the way. And so that is what's going on in the world, the wide world of Hometown Hippie right now. I'm on that Father's Day box. Yeah, that Father's Day box is going to be good, I think. It's also going to have bingo cards in it for June's game. I'm going to start throwing bingo cards in orders, right? And you're going to have bingo cards for your Munchie of the Month. Some of the Munchie of the Month boxes went out without bingo cards. I'm going to pull those, and I will make sure that you all get those bingo cards in retrospect. I'll mail them out, love mail, or they'll come in your next order. So look in your boxes for bingo cards. Yes. And then another little side note, just so y'all know, for the Cannabis Cup, we might have our land cleared enough to actually camp out and hold the event there. We may have to like bring in, you may have to stay at other locations. Like there's like local places to like get a hotel or to camp, but I'm not sure camping will be exactly ready for everybody. I would love for it to be. It'd be very much rustic camping. And I told Russ we get to see about dropping some porta johns off. There wouldn't be any bathhouses because there won't be water under the property yet, but we're still looking for places that have all of the stuff set up. So we're working on it. We're working on it. But on that note, I am going to get off here and go do the things that I need to get done for the day. As always, peace, love, and feast. And hashtag stay elevated. I love y'all, and I will see you later. Have a great day.